SolarSheat is the name of the product. They're solar air collectors, and bringing that energy into the home. Glazed panels, they look like a window with an aluminum extrusion frame behind it, Kynar coated, so they'll last for 25, 35, 40 years, depending on where it's positioned, what environment it's in. Insulated on the back sides. You're not going to see heat moving from the front of the panel to the back of the panel. That heat's going to transfer through the panel and into the home with a 40 to 50 degree heat rise. They look like a window with an aluminum extrusion frame. Wall mount installation manual, how to take a panel out of the box, put it up on a wall, and get it up into the home within about an hour and a half to 2 hour time frame. The configuration that we're going to be looking at is the direct vent. You'll provide inside air from a return to the panel off the bottom. The air goes through the panel, heats up 50 degrees through the panel, and then it's evacuated back into the house with the built-in photovoltaic fan unit at the top. From an equipment standpoint, depending on what type of wall that you're going to be cutting through, that you have a good hole saw, 5 1/4 inch hole saw, jigsaws or bimetal blades if necessary. You'll need a level, a caulk gun, a measuring tape, pry tool, bring a broom or a shop vac. Every 1500G SolarSheat comes with the duct kit. You've got the 2 diffusers, the 2 collars, your insulated foam, which you'll be cutting out in squares around the face of the collar, your backdraft damper, which will fit into your return, all your Tech screws for mounting the collector to the bracket. Then it also comes with your thermostat control. Every one of the duct kits comes with a manual, so you'll always have a reference manual. They can be mounted horizontally or vertically. It's easier to mount on a vertical than a horizontal. If you're looking at horizontal, you're adding probably another hour to your install time. This is an ideal installation if you can find that space on a wall. You're going to get better efficiency out of the panel. Key considerations: look for a southern exposure wall face, something that doesn't have a lot of overhang, that has a little bit of room off the ground so that you can get away from any snow. Raise the panel up about 1.5 feet off the ground. Make sure there's no electrical wires. Be careful of any plumbing that could be behind the wall, any gas piping or heat ducts. Anything that might be in the way, make sure you have a clean wall on the inside. When you open up the box, you'll pull out the cardboard template. Find the location on the wall where you're going to be mounting the SolarSheat to. Securely tape it up to the wall. Before you drill, make sure you put the mounting brackets up into a position off the bottom. Everybody can see that lip right there. The cardboard should be resting right on that lip. Make sure that bottom bracket is level, and then mark it off with a Sharpie. Drill your pilot holes through the center of the template and through the entire wall. Cut the 5 1/4 inch duct holes through the template and outer wall. Cut matching holes on the inside of the building. Cut matching holes in the insulation in the back of the collector using a knife. The next step, you want to prep your collars. Cutting these into 8-inch strips and squares and squaring them off into the collar. And this is something you might want to do before you even leave for the job site. Before you actually put the panel up, you want to make sure that you've marked off the correct length on the diffuser. Just push it through, mark it off with the pen, cut this down to the proper size. There you can see a picture of the backdraft damper that goes in the hole on the bottom one on the inside.
Cut an extra 2 inches on the return side to make room for the draft diverter. Trim the lip on the damper. Crimp its edge and insert into the collar.
The backdraft dampers prevent cold air from returning out of the panel at the inside of the house. You've got your holes drilled with your collars inserted.
Pre-drill holes in the bracket to line up with studs if possible.
The screws will be drilled right through this top lip into the wall and then the bottom lip, and that gives it a nice secure hold point. Got your mounting bracket secured to the wall. Before you mount this, you want to make sure you have a 1/4-inch hole through the wall for the thermostat wires.
Feed the thermostat wire through the 1/4-inch hole in the wall. Line up the top bracket to your marks and screw it to the wall.
Now you're ready to secure the SolarSheat to the mounting brackets with the Tech screws. Find this front face here. You just drill right in through the SolarSheat. It firmly secures to the panel then at that point. The last thing you have to do is thermostat control, and it's red to red, white to white. You can mount this to the wall. Yeah, question?
Can you run flexible duct through a garage or attic?
Yeah, on this particular configuration, you want to limit the duct runs under 15 feet. You can use R25 flexible duct. If you have to do long configurations, I would suggest inline fan kits. A separate solar head powering the inline DC powered fan.
Can you tilt the SolarSheat for better exposure?
Optimal angle is around 65 degrees. The nice thing about a vertical mount is that you won't have any snowmelt issues at all.
What is the temperature of the air that comes out of the SolarSheat?
50-degree heat rise through the panel on a sunny day. It's a 24-volt fan that's providing about 150 CFM of airflow. The fans themselves come with a decoupled head, so if there's ever a problem with the fan, you can decouple the head off the SolarSheat and replace the head or the fan.
Do you have to pull the sheet off of the wall?
Yeah, you'd have to pull it off.
Is it still heating in the summer? Does it vent out?
It's going to be stagnating inside of the panel, but it's insulated with a polyisocyrenate backing.
Does it heat up so much that it might crack or break?
No. All the materials are rated for 350 degrees stagnation temperature. You could always put a cover over the top of it. We do sell solar covers.
Can they be installed on mobile homes?
Mobile homes, they'd be a good option. 750, 800 square feet, you might be able to heat the whole thing. If it's located right, the fan from the panel could push all the way down the hallway. Anywhere you've got enough room to hang it. But the biggest thing on making these work, when you're auditing the house, make sure you've got sun during the day on that south wall. But you do have to look to see if there's a house next door or mobile next door, maybe shading that wall if you're out there doing the audit in the summertime. You're going to have to take a look and make sure you sun on it during the winter time. What you want to heat up is the room where the thermostat is. So the solar heat is going to trick the furnace into thinking the whole house is warm during the daytime. People who spend the majority of their day in the living room kitchen area, they're still going to be toasty warm.
Say on like an extremely sunny day versus a partly cloudy day, it obviously goes down, but is the panel still working?
The PV head is married to the sun, so it's not going to be blowing cold air into the house if it's a cloudy, dark, damp day. When it's got some sun out, the fan will be slowed down. For people who do work all day long and they're not home, they superheat their house during the day, make it 85, whatever, and that temperature will last all the way up until midnight without the furnace kicking on.
Particular square footage house?
Each panel will heat up to 1,000 square feet. Even if it is a larger house, there's a living area of the house where people congregate, and that's the area that you'd want to direct vent it into.
The volume, the cubic foot, is probably as important as the square footage, all right? Square footage doesn't matter if it's in rooms with a bunch of doors, all that, everything's just partitioned off because the heat's not going to spread out. What we want is, maybe a vaulted ceiling or those setups where you got a living room, dining room, kitchen that's all kind of open, or an add-on that the client spends their day in watching TV and reading and doing that type of stuff. Those are ideal settings.
Funding for this video comes from the Department of Energy.